Hey, you. Yeah, you. Happy New Year, you legend, and welcome to the channel. You've seen the thumbnail, so let's get straight into it, shall we? But first, who am I? I'm an official hunt creator with about 3,000 hours combined across a few platforms, but about 2,500 of those is on PC. I'm also currently sick with COVID, so if I sound either like Batman or Wheezy from Toy Story, I apologize. I like to think I'm pretty decent with a good grasp of the game though, and since I play with people of all skill levels from low 3 stars who are brand new rookies to high 6 stars who are sweatlords, I think I have an idea of how to push Hunt to a game which is more accessible and enjoyable for all. So without further ado, let's talk about what Hunt has done great in 2023. 2023 was absolutely insane for Hunt. We had the Tide events, bringing in the new highest player count of all time at around 44,500 people. That's crazy. We also had a bunch of new weapons and variants added, a new wildcard target called Rotjaw, quality of life changes in patch 1.15, controller updates, 2 brand new weather conditions, more on that later. We had the temporary return of the Inferno, a new creator program, which I was very kindly accepted to. Thank you, Crytek. Very cool. Recruitment changes, prestige changes, new traits, some other stuff that I can't think of while writing the script. But genuinely, 2023 has been phenomenal for Hunt, and I cannot stress this enough. Any criticism I give this game is out of love. I love Hunt. I genuinely do. If I didn't, I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't stream it. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. Okay? Well, that'd be crystal clear. But without further ado, what do I think that Hunt should do to push the game in the right direction for 2024? Let's have a look, shall we? So, I'd like to start with some really tiny nitpicks before getting into the meat and potatoes. That's what people say, right? Am I going crazy? No, I think people say that. They probably say that. Let's just pretend they say that. Personally, I'm super lazy, so I like to click the least amount of buttons possible in the lobby to get stuff done so I can get back to shooting people quicker, or getting shot quicker, with, the way it works. I'm sure we've all said this before, but a small feature to favorite traits and put them at the top of the trait list would just be so handy. I don't want to have to scroll past Poison Sense, Adrenaline, and all that rubbish to get to Necro and Resilience. And trust me, I need Resilience lately. I have been getting my absolute poop rocked. I had to think about it then. Definitely poop. That's what I was going to say. Something similar to the favorites tab in the weapons and tools would just genuinely be nice. Additionally, can we get the same for legendary hunters though? Dude, I just want to play Lulu. I don't have to scroll through the first 40 hunters to get to her. I know, first world problem, but please, that'd be great. Anywho, next feature. Can we get an addition to the loadouts of this word on screen for health chunk. For example, 3 big bars is just objectively bad, and if you forget to change your health, running with 3 bars is pretty bad. If you don't know that, first of all, welcome to the game. I hope you have an absolute belter. Secondly, please do not run this. If you have a big bar at the end, that is absolutely fine. Try big, small, small, big. This way, you can still heal up to full with a weak vitality shot with no need of a regen shot. You just wait a little bit, and then boom, pop it, you're up to full health. And if you have Doctor, boom, happy days. You get tagged with the sparks, you're on 1 HP, you use a medkit, up to 101 HP. You don't even need to worry, your health will just naturally go back to full. If you prefer the small bar at the end though, say you were solo, or prefer to run better heals, then 4 smaller bars are ideal. Having these implemented to loadouts just means you could have more control over your loadouts and run whichever meds you prefer, while eliminating the chance of forgetting the features that were added this year. I love that I can change my health without spending any blood bonds, but I forget to do it, dude. I'm stupid, okay? I need all the help I can get. Please eliminate the things I need to remember, because I'm gonna forget them. I'm already struggling to bring in Martialists for the katana, and I love that thing. Like, help save my brain a job. Now, I'm gonna talk about the recruits a little bit later on in terms of their power and stuff, but a little nitpick I have. I think that, first of all, I want to just stress, they are fantastic. They are insanely powerful. But can I please have it that when I buy a recruit, I know, again, first world problems of having money in this game, if I buy a recruit, can I have the legendary skins automatically applied to them? Like, I'm not on about changing the hunter skin, the weapon skins. If I buy a hunter who comes with, let's say, a knife, can I have my Marquise automatically applied to it? Or a skin applied to my medkit, or my Romero, or my conversion pistol, just so I don't have to do it. I like shooting people. I don't like playing Tarkov menu simulator, you know? Secondly, can I, like, get it fixed where if I buy a loadout that I have made, but because they've got legendary skins, it just buys another copy instead of using the guns and tools and stuff that I have of that same skin? For example, if you didn't know, let's say I was running a Springfield Marksman in a loadout with a bunch of other stuff. If I have the Archangel applied to the Springfield Marksman, and I buy that loadout, it'll buy another copy of the Springfield Marksman Archangel skin when I've already got one, and it makes no sense, and it just kind of wastes a bit of money. So I go from 240,000 to 239,900. I know, it's a real game changer, but please, if that could be changed, chef's kiss. Okay, if you're watching this, Curty, I know you were going to be so happy with this suggestion because we've been talking about it for literally ever. But people have been begging for a 2D replay. You ever have them matches where you're genuinely just like, what the absolute frick have them dinguses been doing this entire match? Yep, I'm talking about the Headsman players who take a shower for the first time in the rain. I want to see where they were on the map, what they were doing on the map, and who they fought on the map. And I guarantee it's going to be no one at any time. They're going to be just chilling, jerking their gherkin in the bush, right? You don't have to show me their names, so I can't, you know, unnecessarily report them for watching Netflix for some stupid reason, because some people would do this. And I'm looking at you, Lefty. You know who you are. You know what you did. Also, I'd like to have a post-match kill view. I would absolutely love to see where I got destroyed from. It'd be good for not only obtaining evidence against cheaters, but it'd also allow me to learn a few tricks, and coming from a former R6 enjoyer, I just love them pixel peaks, okay? I want to see where I got absolutely destroyed from. I would also love a feature that would give me the post-match kill views from my enemies. I would love to be able to see where I got absolutely wrecked from. It'll be good for examining and obtaining evidence from cheaters, while also allowing people to learn new tricks and angles from other players. I know I would personally love this feature as a former Rainbow Six Siege enjoyer. I'm all about them pixel peaks, baby. I'm talking about the bullet holes. I'm talking about the one-sided head peaks. You remember back in Hunt days for the OG players when left peak was a thing? Yeah, that interested me, okay? So I'm all about learning new angles. Alright, continuing on improvements, let's talk briefly about the shooting range. First of all, I think this was dope. I think it's a fantastic addition to the game. I genuinely do. It allows for some fantastic moments, like when a good friend of mine called Fraylin had held her own 1v1 tournament. I didn't win, I know, shocker, but my boy, Who Mike King, did, and it was an absolute blast. But how can we improve the shooting range? Obviously, the addition of more compounds and maps would be fantastic, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're already working on this. Or even customs? Ooh? Can we also scrap the whole, no, Whaley's the mini-mosin? I cannot find weapons when they're scattered around Fort's compound, so, like, can we just get a supply point? Let us go to the supply point, we get access to the traits, weapon variants, tools, and consumables, so we can genuinely 1v1 completely free without having to search the entire compound for a Vetterli. You know, it's just easier and more convenient having everything in one space than having to do a little Easter egg hunt to, you know, test stuff. One final thing I would personally add to the shooting range. Moving targets. A close range, medium range, and even long range so I can just test the lead on the Martini. I suck with that gun. Please, let me get better with it, but not without lowering my money. How about at the side of each of the dummies we have a target? We shoot it, then the dummies start moving at running speed left to right. Then we shoot it again, and then it's a walking speed. Then we shoot it again, it's a crouch walking speed, and then once more it goes back to stationary. It might not be the best implementation, but it would at least work, right? Maybe we have like a lever we can pull, or a setting at the supply point that I talked about earlier. Just something, you know? Now for the enemy additions, and I'm really excited to share my ideas here. I'm kind of stoked about this. I've been waiting for a new AI enemy type, like a common one. One idea I had took a little inspiration from Geef, because he mentioned in a previous video he wants an enemy that messes with the choke mechanic, and I think I've got it on, you know, down to a T. So what about this? A scuttly little enemy that runs on its back. These remnants fell victim to suffocation from the smoke of the inferno and were resurrected as smog. These enemies run upside down, in a bridge-type position, like hands over their head, chest to the sky, on all fours kind of thing. A humanoid dog, if you like, with its lungs exposed. Damaging these lungs in any shape or form will cause an eruption of smoke to form. Smack the head onto the smog to kill it, or break its legs to immobilize it, that kind of thing. It's kind of inspired by a hybrid of the Armless Man of Silent Hill 2, while taking some notes of the Dead Space bro I can quit at any time meme. Like, I think this would be cool. Let me know what you think. While we are talking about new enemies, why don't we talk about a new wildcard target and some adjustments to the wildcard target in general. First of all, they were added in 2023 with the Rain event. I think they're fantastic. I love Rotjaw. I think she's really, really cool. But, and it's a big but, she's typically not worthwhile even going for. You'll often find that people will kill her and then bounce just because they can. They won't even really collect the bounty token, especially if the big boss, like Scrapbeak or Assassin, are on the other side of the map. They'll kill Rotjaw, they'll go fight the Assassin team, then go back over to the other side of the map if they can be bothered, if there's an extract there. If there isn't an extract there, Rotjaw will be killed and left there just for the sake of it, because it doesn't provide a lot of money, it's only one bounty token, you don't get a lot of seconds, and if you're going to traverse the entire map to go fight another team, 5 seconds across the entire map isn't a lot, especially if you go to fight multiple teams. So, I don't know. I think a little bit of love would be kind of worthwhile for Rotjaw in general. I don't know why I said general so weird. That was kind of odd. But the new wildcard target, what have I got an idea of? I want the Rat King to be added. And no, he isn't the Last of Us 2 enemy, but a mole rat that can burrow underground and still loot from the player. To get it back, you need to kill the boss. Like, what if he stole medkit charges, explosives, etc.? It'd be super irritating, but so is Scrappy, so is Rotjaw, so is Spider, so is Butcher when fighting teams, right? Obviously, I think there should be limitation on this, like, no, he can't just disarm you and take your melee weapons or guns or whatever, but consumables or charges or some tools would be kinda cool. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite thing. Guns. We love guns, right? Guns! Marcus munitions! Or whatever he says. This is going to be a long and controversial one, so strap yourselves in, go get a nice hot chocolate, you can pause the video, come back in a second, go put the kettle on, I'll even wait, okay? Okay, I'm assuming you paused it. If you didn't, happy days, you're still here. Hi. I love the weapons of this game, I really, really do. Now, before I turn into a Giga Karen, I would love to mention one of the main appeals I had to join Hunt. I love the game because every weapon has its niche. Every weapon has a reason to be using a loadout over a different one. Every weapon. I want to emphasize that. Every single weapon. On top of that, you typically have to take your time to line up a shot and accurately shoot to kill. While this might not be true to this day with every weapon combo, it's at least somewhat true, right? You have a Winfield, you need to line up your shots. You have a Sparks, same thing. I don't think the guns that have been added lately have ruined this by any means. In fact, I love them. But to a certain extent, I'm worried about the ammo types more so that have been added to existing guns. So let me explain. Okay, so let's just quickly summarize in the shortest way possible what Geef did here. Link to his video down below. It's great, worth a watch. Go give it some love. And it was done last year, so it's also kind of interesting to see what has actually been added to the game since. It's pretty cool. The Pax for the longest time was a neglected middle child to the Chad older brother, the Scotfield. For the longest time, the Scotfield in nearly every way outclassed the Pax, with its variants and ammo types. You want to reload for fanning? Well then take the Scotty Swift, or you want a fire rate buff? Take the Spitfire. Two things which are crazy. It does have a precision variant too, which is kind of okay. It's heavily underutilized, don't get me wrong, but it's an affordable option for a little bit more accuracy, but I'd rather just the Spitfire myself. The packs are basically nothing except, now are you ready? Drum roll please.
Oh my god! Wow!
That's right, a claw variant. Woo! And the crowd goes mild. Yep. The ammo types aren't all too different, but I really wish they didn't add high velocity to the Scotfield. They recently, with patch 1.15, added it to the packs, and it is fantastic, but I want it to be the packs' niche. A fast muzzle speed ammo pistol, piss off Scotfield. You literally have the cake, and you get to eat it too. I also didn't think that the True Shot would be all that good, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's basically like an increased muzzle speed, slightly better damage packs with good iron sights and great accuracy when fanned. It's just kind of a budget uppercut, and I love it. It's a head-clicking machine. It's so good. I think it was one of my favorite additions, like, period. It's so good. The True Shot is something I had actually added to my notes before this recording. Same with the Katana, but both have been added, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not disappointed. I think they are absolutely fantastic. So good job, Crytek, and thank you. Now, these are great, but my saltiness still wants the high velocity gone on the Scotfield, just so we have that high muzzle speed niche available to the packs, kind of like we do with the Officer, how that's got high velocity and it's got the fast firing with the double action. I think that'd be cool. No, I'm not saying a double action for the packs. Please, no. No. Maybe the packs could also get another bit of love with, like, a single slot medium ammo Deadeye variant or the first silenced medium pistol. Now, before you say, that isn't realistic and you can't silence a single action army, I don't give a shit. It'd be cool as hell. And you cannot tell me a single action army with a Pringles can on the end would not be awesome. Oh boy, this one's gonna really piss off some people. The reason I bring up this rivalry is because now I personally believe that history has repeated itself. But not in the way you were thinking. It's between the Centennial and the Vetterli. Yeah, more medium ammo discussions, but the Vetterli for the longest time was a jack of all trades, master of none budget weapon with bayonets and a selection of scopes and a silencer. It would deal 130 damage, which is enough to kill a hunter to the chest who was missing a bar from either fire or being downed. So that's pretty cool. It also has 7 bullets before reloading and access to incendiary ammo, FMJ, and high velocity. There is also the Cyclone, but in my opinion, it's kind of eh. It also is pretty fun, but I'd rather just an Officer Carbine for a fraction of the price anyways. I find it more reliable for me personally. The Centennial then was added as a direct competitor to the Vetterli. This gun has 10 bullets before reloading, but didn't do the necessary damage to kill a hunter to the chest who was missing 25 health because of its 123 damage. If you didn't know, hunters have 150 health. A small bar is worth 25 while a large is worth 50. So missing a small bar is almost insignificant versus the ye olde Centennial. Its crazy muzzle speed might mean you get headshot, which will obviously kill you, but yeah, it's got 600 meters per second. That's on par with a Mosin with its bullet travel speed. That's nuts! This helps hitting with your shots at range and allows you to click heads easier. And over time, it did have variants added to it, such as the Sniper, the Trauma, the Shorty, and the Shorty Silencer alongside Poison Ammo and FMJ. Overall, I think both guns in their own way had pros and cons. If you prefer the damage, you take the Vetterli. If you prefer the head clicking and the utility, you take the Centennial Trauma or the Shorty Silencer. So why is this comparison different today? Well, I am glad you asked. Knuckles cracked. Well, the Centennial recently received Dum Dum and High Velocity. Now, while I don't think the High Velocity is that bad of an addition on this gun, it creates a healthy rivalry between the Vet and the Centennial. Would you rather a 610 meters per second at 130 damage round, or an 800 meters per second at 123 damage round? I see the pros and cons for both, but in my opinion, the Centennial is still just better. If you really need the velocity to play a factor, you're not typically at the ranges that the damage should be playing that big of a factor for medium ammo rifle anyway. Since the medium damage drop-off is the same as compact ammo at 20 meters, so you're kind of left with the head clicking being a better option. And that's why I think the higher muzzle speed will be better. I will say though, that the high velocity for the Centennial Shorty Silencer objectively makes the silenced Vetterli bad, and this pains me because I want to be good with that gun, but it is just bad in comparison. The Centennial Shorty Silencer is a medium slot weapon, it's got good iron sights, and with high velocity, it goes up to 540 meters per second. that smashes the silenced Vetterli out of the park. It is nuts how good it is in comparison. Average Joe once told me the Vetterli was Vetterli, but then we get onto the Dum Dum. Oh boy. Yep, Dum Dum was added to the Centennial, and why do I think this is a problem? Well, it removes the one downside the Centennial has, which is being able to insta-down a hunter with missing health. Now, if they're at 125 health, you will tag them. They will die with one single tick of damage after you hit them. They cannot prevent this in any way, and if they aren't missing health, it still adds a ton of bleed pressure the hunter needs to stop. Now, the Springfield are similar with Dum Dum, but it's considered fun. Now, one reason why it's considered fun is because it's a single-shot rifle. But it also doesn't change any interactions, so I don't think it's busted. I just think it's a fun weapon. I also love the Springfield, so I'm probably biased. But why am I saying this all together? Now, hear me out. Do not go crazy when I say this. I think giving the Centennial Dum Dum was dumb. Haha, got it. But I think you should give it to the Vetterli. Now, before I hear you type angrily, look, it would be kinda nuts, but it wouldn't change any interactions, and it would be the love that the Vetterli would need to be good. I mean, think about it. The Centennial's doing it all anyway. It's got the velocity, it's got the damage now, it can now have a threat, it can apply pressure. Okay, it can't do incendiary damage, but now you have flare pistols to do that, so big whoop. I don't know. I just think it should lose a little bit of its flexibility. And while I love the high velocity on the silenced weapon, I know it's bugged right now. If you don't know, it actually has 10 bullets with high velocity instead of the 6 it's supposed to have. But that's not what makes the gun nuts. It's the muzzle speed. I think that should be changed. I think 540 for a silenced weapon is absolutely ridiculous, especially with a medium slot. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think this is probably going to be the most controversial. But yeah, it's... I just think there's a lot of power creep with the Centennial right now, and I don't like to see it. It makes me worried that they're going to add every ammo type to every gun, and I don't want that for Hunt. I like the niches. I like having to think about what weapons I'm going to take in what loadout. So following on from the gun balancing segment about the Centennial and the Vetterli, I want to just talk briefly about Spitzer. I personally don't like snipers who sit 200 meters away with a hit scan rifle while I'm fighting two teams. I find it really frustrating to be killed by these kind of players, and it feels really, really bad to know that they've been waiting that entire time with their dicks in their hands doing absolutely nothing. So what would I do? Instead of the Mosin, the Labelle, and the Bertie having access to the Spitzer ammo type, why do we give it to the Sparks and the Martini? It lowers the damage significantly, so make it so the ammo doesn't one-shot down hunters with 124 damage or less. Additionally, it would mean that the snipers wouldn't have a follow-up shot after firing, so they would need to either aim for the head instead of multiple body taps, or, if they do get a pick, they would need to fall back just a little bit before re-engaging. Personally, this feels like a way more fun and rewarding way to have Spitzer in the game than on an insanely strong Mosin, Labelle, and Bertie. I think this would just be way more fun. Okay, now I admit this is a bit of a strange suggestion, but hear me out. Can we make stripper clips a variant, like the Swift variant, for weapons that it would apply to? Like the Bornheim, the Mosin, the Dolch, the Bertie. It would mean you'd have to choose either a faster reload, or another feature like the bayonet that makes the weapon have its niche. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the Mosin has this in real life, but it just allows for complete safety after emptying your gun as a feature for an already strong weapon. If you want the stripper clip, you could still have it, you just need to take the Mosin Swift or Mosin stripper clip, whatever you call it. Allowing this to be a variant of a gun would also mean that other variants, which can be really annoying, such as the Avto, the Dolch P, and other things like that, would not be able to unload a metric volume of bullets and then be able to pop them back in and immediately go to town at being Rambo again. I think it would allow people to have more thought over the weapons they take while removing the element of safety and allow them to be punished for any misfires that they do. Let me know what you think. Interesting take, I know. I understand that the after was brought into this. I get that that is a separate topic altogether from Stripper Clip. However, I do think that the after would be significantly more fun to play and go against if you were actually punished for emptying 15 rounds, like it was the chain pistol, where you have to go with each round. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. After looking at the volume over accuracy in the shape of the aftermath, can we just look at another kind of similar strategy in terms of RNGesus? I want to have a look at levering, dualies, and fanning in particular. It wouldn't kill these strategies to remove the headshot damage multiplier. Still get the hit marker, so, you know, you can be like, ooh, I found a headshot, but it won't kill them, right? It would still make them viable for less mechanically capable players, as it typically is a 2-tap for the ranges they are designed for, but it would also make them less frustrating to go against. There is nothing more irritating than getting 1-tap from 50 meters with fanning, dualies, or levering, or getting insta-headshot from like 20 meters away with dualies. Like, you're just looking at your enemy, you're not actually aiming down sights, and I find that super punishing, and it feels awful to go against. And when you are the guy who does it, it's more of like a, ooh, spicy, that shouldn't have happened, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just think it's bad for the game. I said I'd talk earlier about the recruits, and I'm gonna do that now. Let's just cut the crap. They are great for helping newer players understand what makes a good loadout, like melee tools, weapons, and different range versatilities, but come on, this is just heavily overtuned. You get good guns, cool skins, and usually a good selection of traits that you can see before purchase. At tier 3, you get 4 traits, by the way, and on top of that, you get a discount. I can seriously buy a nitro cheaper than I would normally, but it also comes with a melee tool, a medkit, 2 consumables, 4 traits, which can often be things like Doctor, Fanning, Quartermaster, or Physician, and it's just too much. These are heavily overtuned, but this has meant less Headsman, which is pretty much the only positive of this. More on him in a bit, by the way. Typically, I don't even care about the guns they come with, and they're often quite nice, but the traits are what truly offer the most value, and they aren't even considered for the price of the Hunter. It's made legendary Hunters completely inferior, apart from the style points. They only have a minimum of 7 trait points as well, so I can't see what traits I'm getting, while recruits, on the other hand, I can see everything I'm purchasing, so I don't even have the element of RNG with these guys. It's just more economically viable and consistent to go for recruits. I truly believe these heavily inflated the economy right now and Hunt. It's so easy to get value from them, and on top of the 3k bonus with Bloodline 100, it's easy to see why Dolces, Nitros, Afters, and Crowns are freaking everywhere right now. So what would I do? Honestly, it's tough to say. I was going to reduce the amount of traits they have initially, but now I played the event a little longer, I'd honestly just remove the ability to see the traits they come with. Have them be a mystery. 4 traits is too much too, so we should do this instead. Free Hunters should not come with traits, period. They're free. The value comes from the loadout they have. That's why you're taking a free Hunter. Tier 1s, they should only get 1 trait up to 2 points. Not 2 points minimum, but up to 2 points. Tier 2s should get 2 traits worth up to 4 points. And tier 3 should get 3 traits worth up to 6. This would make them valuable for the loadouts they carry as opposed to the traits they have, and wouldn't make them nearly as oppressive or completely outclassing the legendary hunters themselves. So what do I do for legendary hunters then to counteract this? I think legendaries should be valued for the traits they have. So instead, make them have 8 points, but just give them trait points flat. That way, there is no RNG with them, and if you're a solo, you can always take your Necro, Resilience, and Magpie, while not allowing for anything too wild. And sure, Quartermaster would be rampant then, but I have an idea for traits too. Another balancing idea I've originally heard was from a good friend of mine, Average Joe. Go check him out. Great Crytek partner. Love him. He'd once said that an interesting way to balance traits wouldn't be on their cost, but by how many slots they take. Let's say Doctor was 2. Would you take it as much? You probably would, right? But it would definitely be a heavy nerf, right? It would force you to really think about what traits you would want to take. And Vigor might actually be more of a replacement since the regen nerf for doctor just because it would be less slots, right? Do you see what I'm saying with this? Like, it would definitely restrict you on what you could and couldn't take. But I don't think it would be a bad thing, you know? I think this would be really, really cool. Let me know what you think. We're coming up to the end now, and I'd also like to touch on the rain. I know this was a very, very hot topic, but I believe there are a few reasons people dislike this. First of all, the heavy rain takes away the most important sense in Hunt, sound. And while it may seem fair, as all players are equally affected, the main reason it is frustrating is when you are either in a boss-lair banishing or just defending in general. If the heavy rain starts, the defending team typically cannot hear when they are being pushed, so it becomes really frustrating when, you know, you die to a pushing team, especially if you get third-partied as well. Like, they come up behind, you get shot, you die, it's a miserable time. I think a way to rework this into a more fun and engaging way would be to take an idea I heard from a good friend of mine, Jinxie. They said that the heavy rain could only slightly affect hearing, not nearly as deafening as it is right now. This could be due to hunters having advanced hearing through the vitality shots or something like that for lore. But to hide the sound, during heavy rain we had a mini thunder and lightning. The lightning would flash, give players a heads up that in a few seconds the thunder will arrive, and once it does, audio is hard to hear, but just for a few seconds before returning to the heavy rain, but without the muffled audio. After a few minutes, the normal low/light rain, whatever you want to call it, starts again. I love this idea, and I would love to see this implemented. I think it would add a more tactical element of pushing with your friends and your team into the boss lair when the audio is muffled, and you only have a couple seconds to do it, so you need to be more organized about it, while you're not getting destroyed by third parties that you couldn't hear coming. I don't know, I think this is a great idea. I would love this to be added. Could we also get some accessibility settings for colorblind people in particular? I know a couple people who are red-green colorblind, and they cannot see poison clouds. I even struggle sometimes. They're really well hidden, they're see-through, they're very slightly green. In trees, I have no chance of seeing them, like, it's brutal. So imagine, you know, having a visual impairment too. I think this would be great. It will help create people playing on, like, an equal playing field, and I don't know. I think some love would be absolutely appreciated by the colorblind community. So, yeah, add it, Crytek. Another thing that could be done to ensure that players all have the same chance of succeeding would be making a custom Crosshair addition to the game. I personally see it all the time that some players are on a Crosshair overlay program, like this one, and it feels bad that I'm getting outgunned by someone who runs another program to assist their aiming. I have heard that some people will run this to help with their eyesight, which is entirely fair, but if anything, that just equalizes my point. I kind of want everybody to be able to just use this. If it helps their eyesight, then so be it. If you don't want to use it, then don't. It's entirely up to you. I think a Battlefield-style customization would be fantastic to help players' eyes if they need it, and the average player to be on the same level as Tryhard Tommy. What do you think? So, last year we had the addition of Weapon Inspect with, I believe it was Tides of Corruption. If you've had the chance to stop by the stream, you will have seen that I bloody love this feature. It just soothes the ADHD itch that I have in my brain. Once we have each and every tool available by default to have a Weapon Inspect, can we get these added to the pass, or just available to purchase, but with a little bit more flair? I want to turn into Revolver Ocelot or the dude from Tombstone just spinning Paxes on my hands, okay? I think that looks cool. And while I love them, I understand that people aren't a huge fan of the charms because it's really distracting, so I think it'd make a nice alternative. Also, speaking of cosmetics, Crytek, can I please get a hunter with a Kitsune mask on the side of the head, please? I just want to be like Tanjiro with a katana, okay? Maybe a duo DLC? Maybe a dude and a woman? That'd be kinda cool. Okay, bye! Okay, my final suggestion would be to nerf Headsman. And you know what they say. If you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So, bye-bye! Okay, I'm kidding a little bit. Yeah, no, I think the Headsman is definitely a problem. There was a couple suggestions that I had to make him fine again. Number one would be to make him white. That was a terrible idea. Do not do that. That adds some extra issues.
The Ku Klux Klan! Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mark, thank you. Instead, the couple ideas I would say is one, to actually make him cool, give him some skulls around him, like some bright white skulls, break up his pattern a little bit, make him have some weird colors that make him stand out, making them like bloody and stuff. That would allow him to, one, actually be cool. He is not a cool skin. You cannot convince me he is a cool looking skin when we have the Reaper and the Devil's Advocate in the game. This guy is played just for an advantage, and you know it. If you're there typing away saying, I like the Headsman, huff on Copium harder, my friend. He is not a cool skin. Secondly, you could actually make him darker, just to please the guys who are huffing on Copium. Before you, other people are like, whoa, what is wrong with you? He wouldn't blend in as much as you think. Alright then, guys, that is all of the suggestions and wish list ideas I have for Hunt in 2024. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I understand it's really not that much of a wish list, but more of just suggestions and directions for Hunt to take. I kind of really just noticed that. That's kind of a bit silly, isn't it, really? Anywho, hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Any points I've made that you don't like, feel free to let me know in the comments. Anything that I did say that's pretty cool, let me know as well. Be sure to like and dislike, and if there's anything I can do to improve for next time, let me know. See you next time, guys. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye!